Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining me and watching and sharing and subscribing. I am now in Japan. I was in Thailand yesterday. Oh, wait, what's today? Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Yep, it's Wednesday in Japan. We left Thailand around 11 p.m. and we arrived yesterday. And here we are. I always wanted to come back to Japan, not as much as my children do or did. My son is here with me. Um, and now we are in Japan, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm retying my hair right now. I got a lot of new growth. It's a new month, and I'm on YouTube listening to stuff. And I seen that something about UFOs. That was the headline about UFOs. And I'm like, oh, Congress, we talking about UFOs now? UFOs are real. I'm gonna let you know that. You do not have to believe them. You could think it's some crazy cowboys versus aliens movies, but UFOs is absolutely real. If you want to look on the CIA's website, they have some documents that have passed whatever timeline jurisdiction, because they captured UFOs back in the 50s. Okay, it's 2025. So usually when something is top secret classified, whatever levels, echelons of the government keeping secrets, they normally have a timeline before these documents are released. And on the CIA's website, you can see documents where they were talking about having UFOs. They have redacted quite a bit of information from these documents, which is ridiculous. And then you can gather what you can gather from it. The whole point is they exist. UFOs absolutely exist. If you cannot fathom that, then you just need to expand your mind and not be closed-minded. We live in a world, currently, it's the Matrix, right? Where a lot of information has been suppressed, where your mind has been psychologically altered, as well as your beautiful vessel. And we live in a time where a lot of shit does seem unbelievable, right? Because you have been brainwashed to think and perceive things in a certain way. And because of that, just hearing them talk about UFOs now in 2025, it's like, oh my God, I seen a UFO when I was in the military and we was on deployment. I love the outdoors. And so we doing figure eights in the middle of, I don't know what ocean. I can't even remember what part of the world, because we were in the water. I was sitting up looking and I thought it was a star at first. I'm like, wow, this star is just really moving a lot, you know, because the ship itself wasn't moving that much. Someone else came out and was sitting with me and having a conversation after a while. And I was like, I'm going to go get my camera. Something was like, that just does not seem like a star, because it had like these little maneuvers or whatever. And I went down to the berthing, which is the berthing on the ship in the military is where people sleep at, right? And they just got to make up names for every little thing that already exists just to help with the programming and the brainwashing. Let's make this thing seem different, even though it's exactly the same. It's like a dormitory on water where people sleep. The male sleep and the female sleep, depending on what your ranking structure is, right? Went to the berthing, got my camera out of my rack before cell phones became our most optimal cameras, right? And that is the train in the background, if you can hear it. I'm in Japan and they have a very lovely, accurate train system. If you have never been to Japan, especially Tokyo, I highly recommend that you visit. Okay. Camera, right? I went and got my camera. I went back outside to take a picture of the star, and you know what? The star disappeared. Just like that. I knew, my intuition was like, that's not a star. The whole time I was staring at it, because how it was moving about, this star, right? The seemingly star, it was making a lot of moves for it to be something that's supposed to be like stagnant in a position in the sky. So that's how come I knew it was a UFO. And plus, you can go online and see that so many other people has so many other sightings, or people were captured by UFOs, or whatever the case is. Okay, UFOs are real. Aliens, I don't really care about the classification of alien, because we are all foreign in some kind of way. And the more I am awakening to my own consciousness, I realize that everything is kind of foreign. Like, I find myself looking at animals a lot and plants, just like really, like, we have been programmed to be like, this is an iguana, a whale, or whatever, so that we can become comfortable and be familiar with these seemingly normal things, right? But they are foreign to us, just like we are foreign to it. But we've learned to get along with, hello, beautiful, thank you for joining. We do learn to be okay with this thing. There's this movie that Disney created called it's a cartoon about a family that was going on a journey, something planet, I cannot think of it, something planet, weird planet or something. But basically it was saying how the earth, right, in the movie, is an alive organism. Absolutely, this is what we know. The planet is alive. We have trees, we have life forms in so many different ways. These things are actually alive, right? So in the cartoon, it was showing how this father and his son was in deep competition. The father had got lost on the planet because he was trying to prove something, and the son was trying to prove something opposite. At the end of the movie, they have come to the realization that the planet was actually alive, and you should check it out. And that everything that was happening with underneath the planet, underneath the earth, if we look at earthquakes and tsunamis, that is the response to the crazy energy that is going on within the planet. This is why stuff is happening, right? And so they was battling that the planet was dying, their most valuable resource that provided so much life, go figure, was being depleted, only to realize that when they went inside the earth, that it was the reason why it was dying, because the immune system of the earth was being targeted. Okay, so when we talk about the planet and the matrix and spirituality, it all goes hand in hand. I really try when I come online to make these videos um, to simplify, but it's really difficult to do that because it's such a broad picture on everything that's going on. Before I left Thailand, there's a person there that I had a conversation with. We have really amazing intellectual conversation. I really like to have engaging conversation. But within that conversation, I had realized that he found human beings to be very stupid. Not just human beings, he found Americans, African Americans specifically, to be very stupid and ignorant. And I said, wow, you sound shocked at the behavior of certain individuals, because so many encounters that this person had was just not pleasant. Okay, he didn't have pleasant encounters, and therefore he classified African American human beings as stupid, basically. Okay, I'm going to just sum that up. And I said to him, you sound really surprised at the behavior of human beings, when because he's a very conscious individual. He's one of those people that, if everybody's talking about like the top 1% of whatever's happening, he is or is one of those people and know those people. Okay. And so I said, why do you sound so surprised when you know what's going on? Like, systematically, the way the matrix is set up, where our air is contaminated, our food is contaminated, the ground we walk on is contaminated, the clothes are contaminated, all of the products that is made is contaminated, to alter behaviors, to alter mindsets, to alter the physical function of our entire existence. So therefore, anytime someone reacts out of what we consider a normal behavior, like a conscious human beings, like, why are you surprised? And that is your reaction. And he was like, wow, I didn't think about that. This is why it's easier for me now to have compassion for human beings, to have love and understanding, because once you are conscious and once you wake up, you will no longer react to life and project insecurities or whatever egocentric behaviors that one could have in a reaction towards another human being that did something that you find unpleasant to yourself. Okay. When you are conscious, you know all of those things I just stated. Your food is poison, the fluoride is poison, the Bed Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret and your plastic Adidas shorts and like all these things that are created intentionally to harm your body, to confuse your immune system, to just confuse everything about your beingness, that everything that we put on and in our body is altering our state of mind. We now know as a conscious being that, oh, they acting like that because A, B, C, D, and E has happened to them and they don't know no better. This is why I don't get upset, okay? When I say upset, I mean, I will no longer give anyone on this planet the privilege to have control over me, to where they can say or do something and I'm going to have a reaction to what someone has said or done, because don't nobody got that kind of power over me no more. I'm a conscious human being. When you're unconscious, for everyone that is projecting and reacting in life, and this is why I make these videos, because somebody hit your car, because somebody said something to you, because somebody reacted in a way and that got you flipping the switch. I made a video saying who is in control of you, because if you can react and project based off of what someone else did, but you had the intention to wake up and have a great day, but somebody didn't hold the door for you, or somebody didn't hold the elevator, or one time I seen when I was in Mexico, this lady was tripping out because the cashier, her energy was terrible. The cashier had like flipped her eggs over. None of the eggs cracked, not a single one. She even said she would go get a new dozen of eggs for the lady. But this woman, I don't know if she was like from Canada. It's a huge Canadian community in the town that I used to live in Mexico. But her attitude and her energy was all the way off. And maybe she went on to have a not great day if she didn't flip that switch. But it was like, oh my God, she was flipping out because of that. Like, young lady, get your life together. It's not that serious. No eggs cracked. Like, you're giving off and putting off all this energy for no reason, when it's no need to get an attitude over a not broken egg, right? So if you are going through life reacting, you are unconscious, okay? Because there's nothing there to be taken seriously for you to be losing your shit over, okay? For everyone that is reactive to life, you need to wake up. Nowadays, what's happening in the world is completely baffling, but don't be fooled, because they're telling you some truths, small truths that you should probably be paying attention to. And not only should you be paying attention to that, you should be paying attention to whatever you hear and how is that making you feel, because what is being said is meant to take you to a place to manipulate your energy, to manipulate your feelings. That's why I say, who is in control of you? Are you in control of yourself? Are you in control of your emotions? Because when you are not emotionally regulated, if you do not have your masculine and your feminine energies going in a place of balance, then you are a puppet and you can be manipulated. And that is when you have no control over yourself. Okay. When it comes to spirituality, it is all about energy. Energy. We are energetic beings. I say at the end of my videos, we are all spiritual beings here to have the most enjoyable human existence. It doesn't matter that the world is at war. It doesn't matter what the fuck is going on this side of the world or another side of the world. The only thing you have control over possibly is your energy. I'm saying possibly, because if you're the type of person that is unconscious and you are unaware of how you are being manipulated through the propaganda, through the psychological warfare, through the intention of the harmful toxins that are placed in your water, in the air, on the ground, in just about everything, if you are not making conscious choices of all of this, the decisions that you are making that will impact your life, then you are not in control of yourself. Spirituality is all about energy, energy, energy. We are energetic beings. That's why when you go to the hospital, what are they showing you? They putting you on an EKG and they're measuring your energy, right? This is what they're doing. They're measuring your heartbeat. It is energetic. Everything about our existence is energetic. And the sooner we pay attention to that, and the sooner we understand that, then the better off you will be, friends. I love you guys so much. I go around the world and I have a great time. I'm here as a human being, or as a spiritual being in a human vessel, to have a great time. I spent the better part of my life stressed out. Yes, I had some moments of fun. A lot of my moments of fun revolved around me being intoxicated. I do not drink alcohol anymore. I'm so grateful that God took liquor out of my mouth. I'm back in Japan. The last time I was in Japan, oh my goodness, I was wasted all the time. Wasted all the time, especially off of their chew highs, right? Anytime I can go and just get obliterated, that was a good time for me. Not knowing how I got home sometimes, or the things I would do, it was ridiculous. And I'm here now, absolutely sober, and I feel so amazing. Japan is a very pleasant place to be. Their intention here in this country is to have great customer service. Their intention is peace. Their intention here is just all about love. They have a lot of shrines here, a lot of temples, torii gates. My son said it's like walking through a portal. Yesterday we was in Harajuku, which is in Tokyo, and the fashion here is insane. I forget how I got off the train and I was like, oh snap. I realized the color pink is very popular in hair, and it took me back when I was in high school because pink was like my favorite hair color. Anyway, we was in Harajuku and we went through to a park to go on a walk, and it was this huge ass torii gate. I posted it on TikTok, and he's like, look, Ma, it's like walking through a portal. Every time we choose to do something and how we're going to be affected in some kind of way, it's like us walking through a portal. How do we want our life experience to be? What do we want our timeline to look like? Okay. Do we want it to be in a happy state of mind, or do we want to choose to respond in negativity? Do we want to choose to be revengeful? Do we want to choose to be spiteful? Do we want to choose to be angry? Do we want to choose to be bitter? Because the energy doesn't lie. And then you can be conscious or unconscious of what you say, but the truth will be your choices is going to align with how your life outcome is. So if you're the type of person that's a liar or a manipulator, or you like to sabotage, self-sabotage, if it's going down a negative route, then your life experience is going to show that. Whether you want to say the truth out of your mouth, your life's energy is never going to lie on how you are, like for real. UFOs exist. Everything that they be talking about nowadays is the truth. They've been telling us partial parts of the truth, but now it's come to a point where shit is coming up like rather rapidly because the world has shifted. It's a lot of things going on that people are unaware of, and they're not really paying attention to because their perception is so narrow to their worlds, which can seem very, very small. With you and your relationship, you and your work, you and your kids, you and your family drama, whatever is going on, you got a small perception if that's the only focus that you have, is that little thing. When on a broader scheme of things, if you realize whatever dramas that you were having with your family, coworkers, friends, whatever's going on, strangers on the street, if it's an unpleasant experience, consciousness will show you that whatever has transpired between you and another individual really isn't a personal thing. These people are just unconscious and don't have control over themselves and over their lives. Spirituality and awakening to consciousness is not an easy decision. Okay. It's not an easy decision to choose every single day to be your best version, to be your best person, to make choices that are only going to be for the betterment of not only yourself and your well-being, but for the well-being of others. You see a lot of people online, especially healers, tarot card readers, clairvoyants and stuff. They're online and they're talking about different truths. Okay. We're all psychic, right, to an extent, because it depends on your level of consciousness. If your pineal gland is calcified because you drinking all type of soda and you eating a whole bunch of sugary crap and you're not taking care of your body, then the chances of you being tapped in are probably going to be null and void, right? Because that the clairvoyance, clairsentience, all the clairs, audio, um it depends on your heart, and your mindset is all on where is are you making conscious choices to avoid things that keeps the calcification of your pineal gland going. Okay. And what I realize and what I really love about tarot readers, I do tarot myself, um is that long ago they were talking about how it was bad, but what I realized is that I go check on so many tarot readers, right? And it's like all they doing is putting out good information. They putting out shit that's gonna make you feel good, or they're doing collective messages that kind of resonate with people on how their timeline is currently going in a relationship with the person that they're currently with, or who they just left, or whoever they broke off their karmic cycle contracts with. If this is going over your head, then it's okay. This isn't for you. I'm not for everybody, and it's cool. I'm for myself though. But thank you for those that do watch and rewatch this and like and subscribe to my channel. Tarot is not an evil thing. I wrote a book called The Love Effect, and I was talking about, and in the book, one of the chapters is breaking down my whole natal chart, right? I am a sun sign Gemini, moon sign Leo. I was breaking down my human design, just like everything dedicated to what my astrology is and how it pertains to my life, right? And how my life has unfolded. And it was pretty freaking accurate. Like, if I'm being honest with myself, tarot is not an evil thing. I don't care what the Bible say. I have a lot of family that is heavy religious. I'm very spiritual. Okay, I'm open-minded. I feel like some religious people can be very closed-minded to certain things, especially when that information came from a book that was written by who knows how many people. Where my spiritual connection comes from with God is it's direct, right? It's direct communication with me and God. So what I get, whatever insights and downloads I get, is from God. It's not from some preacher's mouth. It's not from a book. It's directly from God. And the book is not going to make me be like, oh, tarot is bad. That's blasphemous. Because, like, why? I am a super nice human being, for one. And this is where I think it's so funny and it's so hypocritical, because I don't judge nobody. I speak the truth. I talk facts. I am not triggered by anybody's emotional imbalance. But when I have the religious people and my family have thoughts about tarot or whatever, it's like, oh, you're judging me now, when it's like, thou shalt not judge, and here you are judging me. Like, so who is on the right or wrong side when it comes to the tarot, right? I'm not here to judge nobody. You do what feels good to you. That's not harming and hurting nobody. I don't hurt anybody. Okay. So when it comes to spirituality, it's like this whole umbrella of so many things that revolves around our entire life existence and our consciousness. And it's all about what choices are we making on a daily basis that are contributing to our awakening. You can have several awakenings, right? You can be awakened at so many different levels. And it's crazy because it's like you're never really done. You just keep putting in the work and putting in the work, and more shit will be revealed to you, and more stuff is unraveling. And then, excuse me, and then you think, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Was this sign the correct sign? Or You know what I'm saying? It always has me in a place of knowing, and then I don't know what the heck is going on, and then I know, and then I don't know, and then it's like, what's going on, God? Can I get some clarity out here? And it's all about consciousness and faith, right? When I tell people I travel all around the world and I talk about how great God is, it is because of my faith only in God, not in anything else, not in a church, not in a building, not in a book. It's in God herself, right? My faith is I continue to go into the unknown and I don't know what the fuck is going on next. This is my life right now. I get one-way tickets and I go here and I end up delivering a message, or I get a message delivered to me and I go on to the next and on to the next. And every single time there was something that I gleaned or I learned or I gathered, okay? Every single time. That's what faith is. People wish they had my life. No, I don't think people really do wish they had my life. Yes, I travel around the world a lot and it's pretty lovely, but I have so many sacrifices that I have made, and it's not all glitz and glam in my life, okay? This shit gets sad sometimes because it's like so many people that I used to deal with, I don't deal with anymore. And you really need to be comfortable and confident in yourself and your aloneness and not seeking validation from others and not needing anyone else but God. Period. But God. That's it. And that's me walking in my faith. Like, God, what's going on? What's next? What's happening? Like, how am I supposed to do whatever I'm supposed to do, or whatever questions I have going on, whatever that conversation is at the time. And it's just continue doing what you're doing. You're doing great. Keep going. And you be like, what's up, God? I didn't even think, or I didn't even know. Keep going. Keep going. That's the faith part, okay? That is the absolute faith part. Everything that they're talking about in life, if you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, I would highly suggest you watch it. If you haven't seen the movie The Hunger Games, I would highly suggest you watch it. These kind of movies, there's so many other movies, Ready Player One, like there's so many movies that are saying bits and pieces of what's happening in this current reality, and it's absolutely insane. Like, absolutely insane. Being spiritual is a choice to be consciously aware, okay, of what's going on. I could not dumb myself down or become ignorant if I wanted to, based off of not wanting to be awake anymore. It don't even feel right. Even when I'll be like, oh, this shit is hard, I don't want to do it no more, my mind be like, nah, we can't do that. I think I want to have a drink. No, you don't. Remember how your kidneys used to hurt? Remember how your liver? Like, no, we not doing that. And it's like, I have to work out because I like the way I feel. I have to do these things because I honor and respect my vessel, because I'm conscious now. I can't just be like, oh, I'm going to have a whole bunch of soda and I'm going to eat a whole bunch of crap, because the evidence is going to show itself by my face breaking out or my stomach or my body feeling completely off because I put some shit in my mouth that my senses alerted me to the toxins already, and I had to spit it out. And no, that's not for me. That's not an easy choice. I used to love eating all the things that the scientists created in the lab, called potato chips and candy and soda, that used to heighten my taste buds, and they actually taste really great, but it was actually very harmful to my body. I cannot ignore my body anymore. And that's what being spiritually conscious is about. It's like knowing and being absolutely in tune with my physical vessel. And my vessel is very, very in tune with me, and I am in tune with it. I was doing my hair and I don't ever click on the news, but I seen something about UFOs and I was like, oh snap, they talking about UFOs here? Oh, okay. And it made me be like, I need to come up here and say something, because the conversations people need to be having is preparing themselves to be better versions of themselves, to prepare for what's happening in the world, right? Like, what we are witnessing is the demise or the collapse of a civilization as we know it, with America being on top and all the societal things that's happening. Like, they are vaccinating animals now in America. because COVID was a sham. A lot of lives were lost. Scientists are speaking out. And so, because we already know that there's more to come with that, and if we're not going to go ahead and take those mandatory or so-called mandatory vaccine, let's put it in the beef that we know these people going to eat, because they're too weak to make the choice maybe to go without eating meat, because you can absolutely survive without eating meat, especially vaccinated meat. Then let's give it to them, because they're gonna take it, right? Because they don't care about themselves. That's inevitably what happens. Your weakness is you don't care about you and your vessel, so they'll put whatever crap in it, and then you're going to eat it, because everything was made by scientists that wasn't grown from God herself, and it's made for it to taste good, to trick your brain to taste amazing, but it's not made for your nourishment. So they're banking on that on you. Okay, that's a problem, and that's what makes you slaves to the matrix. In order for you to consciously wake up, you have to choose what is going to be the better option for your vessel, right? This is your prime wealth, is your health, is your mind, is your body. But if your body is full of toxins and poisons, then you're just going to be a slave, and you're going to be asleep, and you're not going to make the correct choices that's going to be in the benefit of your well-being. But is your physical body ready for what's to come? Like, can you run up some stairs? Can you jog around a block? Can you do some push-ups? Can you do some sit-ups? Can you hang? I'm not even gonna say can you do a pull-up. Can you hang for like 30 seconds? Like, what's the state of your physical body? I had no idea. I've been thin my whole life, okay? But that didn't mean I was in shape because I was thin. My body is amazing now. It is in the best shape. I am in the best shape of my life now, and I know that because I put in the work daily. I used to wish for a six-pack, right? But that six-pack was not just going to form up on me. And I think it's so funny because now for the lazy people, they got exercise equipment to wrap around your belly, so your belly can be doing like these impulses, right? So that we can get a six-pack. That's not how six-packs are made, okay? Six-packs are made in the gym, or not in the gym, by putting in the work, by doing the ab exercises, or whatever type of full body exercises that you're doing that carve away your body. That's how you get in shape. Okay, you can't take an injection and melt the fat away, and there's not going to be any side effects that are going to be harmful to you. You need to put in the work, and that is the conscious choice that I be talking about when it comes to spirituality. This shit is not easy. It is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart, but it's absolutely worth it. The connection I have with God is truly divine, and I'm absolutely very grateful for my life. And the way my life is right now, the way my timeline is set up, is that I get to travel all over the world and have the most amazing experiences. And I'm like, oh, where do I want to go next? Oh, the places I'll be going next. I am so excited because it's everywhere. I'm going everywhere because that's the way my timeline is set up, because I am limitless, because I am infinite. And if you want to know how to tap into your own infinites, you want to check out my book, which is in the description, called The Love Effect, right? The guy that I was talking to about the consciousness thing, he was like, oh my God, if it's so easy, because he's like, you're always so wonderful. And I'm like, you motherfucking right. Like, why would I choose to be anything other than feeling amazing? Like, I don't want to be suffering. Suffering is a choice. It is a choice to suffer, because whatever is causing our suffering, we can absolutely stop suffering. We can stop. We can let it go. That relationship, that boyfriend, that husband, that man, that partner, that job, that community, you can leave it all alone if it don't make you feel good. All right. So that's why I feel wonderful all the time, because all the shit that didn't make me feel good, I cut it right out of my life. And I have no regrets. And I feel amazing. amazing, because I can do great all by myself. I ain't about to do bad, because that's choice. That's a choice. And I'm not playing those games no more. But if you want to know how to, my book, The Love Effect, okay, which is in the description below. It will be on Amazon very soon. It's just in my shop right now. It's telling you about my life and the things that I have done, that I still do to pour into me. It's about self-love. It's about self-care. And it is a choice to love yourself. It is a choice to choose to pour into you, whether it's your physical health, your mental health, or your spiritual health. This is how it's done. I just did like a podcast thing with a really great woman that I know in her community. And she was like, what can we do to walk away from this? How can we get into what you got going on? I'm like, gratitude. That's the attitude to have. I'm grateful. The life that I have is hard work, but I am so grateful because it has taught me so many things and still teaches me to this day about gratitude. If I'm not having a great day, if I had a not so great experience with someone that I know personally that I cannot just cut out of my life, then let me just find something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for this relationship. And then I speak into existence. It may not be what the 3D is currently doing, but I speak into the existence of what I foresee about having a great, healthy relationship, about whatever it is that I'm grateful for this time in this period of my life with this particular person. Okay. This is how you change your life. That's why my book is called The Love Effect, because when you pour love into you, the effect that you inevitably have will be a transformed timeline. Your whole life experience will change, period. Okay, check that book out. Thank you so much. If you stayed to the end and you watched, please like, share, and subscribe. I love you. I love you. I love you so much, friends. You're awesome, amazing spiritual beings here to have the most joy-filled human existence. So choose. So friends, choose to have a magnificent one with every single choice that you make with your life. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye.